This week, Steve's road trip takes him from his last destination in Montana all the way south to northwest Colorado, where he's meeting 2010 Stormcloth Sweepstakes winner Brandon Fusen. Brandon will be hunting for his first bull elk, and Steve is hunting for mule deer in late November. Hundreds of elk are on the winter range. The mule deer are in the peak of the rut. This week on Steve's Outdoor Adventures. Steve's Outdoor Adventures is sponsored by Burris Optics and the Eliminator Laser Scope, Stormcloth 2 Performance Outerwear, Corbon DPX Ammunition, Kershaw Knives, the new Bresser 360 Trail Camera, Steiner Binoculars, Outdoor Trail Freeze-Dried Foods, Montana Decoy Company, CVA Muzzle Loaders, and UDAP Bear Pepper Spray.
Coming off my hunt in Montana, where I just harvested a huge whitetail buck from the river bottoms, I was riding high. We covered the long drive between eastern Montana and northwest Colorado in 8 hours and arrived just in time to pick up Brandon Fusen from the airport and get ready for his hunt, which would begin the next morning.
Brandon was a grand prize winner of the 2010 Stormcloth Sweepstakes. His prize was to be filmed on an elk hunt with Steve West in northwest Colorado. Being selected from the thousands of entries, Brandon knew how fortunate he really was, which made him even more determined to take a bull on film.
Oh man, I've been waiting all year for this. Colorado, finally, sweepstakes winner. Been biting my nails for 9 months to be on this trip out here with Steve and the crew, and yep, time to go knock down a big bull.
They've been spotting a bunch of elk just over the backside of this mountain. See if we can't get up in there and spot a good bull for Brandon.
The first morning out, our plan was to ride up with our guide Jared to the top of a small mountain and glass down the other side. The elk always bed on that side of the mountain and feed up into the brushy pockets in the mornings. And this plan worked out perfectly.
We got a herd of elk right below us, one 5x5. One of those looks like a 3 and a bunch of spikes and cows and calves. So hurry up here, take a look, see what we got. This way, whole herd's gonna feed up right underneath us here. This is a famous ambush spot here. Lots of my clients have killed bulls right on this spot, so maybe Brandon's next.
Let's hope. Keep your eye on him if you can. Just try not to lose him. There's a lot of elk down there.
I'm still just blown away that I even won this sweepstakes. I mean, more elk than I've ever seen. Really the best hunt of my life.
This segment of Steve's Outdoor Adventures was sponsored by Burris and the new Eliminator Laser Scope.
As most of you know, the Burris Eliminator Laser Scope is the most advanced rifle scope on the market today. But did you know that it's also the best possible muzzleloader and slug gun scope as well? Simple and easy to mount and quickly calibrated in just minutes. You can easily extend the effective range of your muzzleloader or slug gun out to 300 yards. Just range them and eliminate them. Top your slug gun or muzzleloader with the new Burris Eliminator Laser Scope, and you'll become a better and more efficient hunter. Tired of spending hundreds of dollars on trail cameras? Then you need to look at Bresser. Bresser makes compact, quality trail cameras that take high-resolution photos or video. They're easy to program and work day and night. And Bresser's the only trail camera company on the market today offering cameras that take photos covering 45, 120, and 360 degrees. Ask for Bresser trail cameras at your local sporting goods store and change the way you hunt forever.
This segment of Steve's Outdoor Adventures is brought to you by Stormcloth 2.
It was amazing to see 400 elk spread out down below and over a dozen of them were bulls.
The hardest part was picking out a bull. We looked at over 400 elk and at least 40 of them were branch antlered bulls. We decided to choose the biggest one and focused our efforts on getting within range and taking a perfect shot.
Brandon will be hunting with a CVA Apex rifle in .300 Winchester Magnum, loaded with 180 grain Corbon T DPX ammo and topped with a Burris Eliminator Laser Scope. And of course, Brandon was wearing the new Stormcloth 2 outerwear.
Can't get steady in the wind. About 300 yards. Nice bull. We're gonna drop down, come around, get a nice ambush with a dead rest.
The eliminator scope is so easy to use, I just hit the button twice, 287 yards, the rest was history.
Can we get him? No.
Now.
You hit him hard. I know. Okay.
Got him, baby. Got him.
No, I nailed him good right in the money.
He's going left. He's still moving. He's going straight away. Wait.
Stop.
I can't make
He's broadside right there above the brush. The lowest one broadside.
Oh, okay, I see him.
Wait, he's walking. He just dropped. He just jumped. He just jumped, baby.
Yeah. There's some.
There you go.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
This segment of Steve's Outdoor Adventures is brought to you by Corbon Ammunition. If you want hard-hitting bullets with deep penetrating performance, look no further than Corbon. It's 100% copper and fast expanding, with near 100% weight retention every time.
I don't trust any other ammunition, and in my line of work, my life depends on quality ammo.
Corbon is the official ammunition of Steve's Outdoor Adventures. So next time you're in the field, load up with Corbon DPX ammunition and drop them dead in their tracks.
I've seen 1,000 sunrises and just as many sunsets. I've hunted in the aspens of the Rockies and the sagebrush prairies of the West. I've endured the cold snow, the wet rain, and the hot sun. I am a hunter, and I wear storm cloth.
I'm the Kentucky Turtle Man. You're on watching Steve's Outdoor Adventures here on the Outdoor Channel. Yay! Live action. Get you some.
This segment of Steve's Outdoor Adventures is brought to you by Steiner and the new Predator Extreme Binoculars.
He just jumped, baby.
Yeah. There's some.
There you go.
Yeah, baby.
At almost 300 yards, Brandon put the eliminator to work. He ranged the elk, put the dot on his chest, and squeezed the trigger. The shot was perfect, and the bull was dead on his feet. Go put your hands on him, buddy.
Hands on. Thank you very much, guys.
Good job.
Look at that toad. Oh, man. That's an elk.
Yeah.
God, look at that toad. Here it is, everybody. The Stormclaw Sweepstakes winner from last year, Brandon Fusen. You know, we had a great game plan. The elk were coming down with the snow out of the high country by the groves. There was well over 400 head in here this morning. Brandon flew in last night, picked him up at the airport about 10:30.
Yes, sir.
2 hours into your first morning's hunt here.
Yep. 2 hours into my first morning hunt, got my first bull down, Colorado. And I can't even begin to tell you how it feels right now to be sitting next to this hunk.
How many bulls you see this morning?
I've probably seen over 400 head of elk, and I'd say a third of them were bulls.
Congratulations, Brandon.
Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Stormcloth. My guide here, awesome. Everything's just been fabulous. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how I feel right now about killing this stud of an elk. My first bull ever in Colorado, first time on an airplane even, so. I mean, yeah, I'm just ignited right now. But yeah, this is awesome.
Closed captioning sponsored by Kershaw, the official knife sponsor of Steve's Outdoor Adventures.
Now, I was pumped up for Brandon to get his first bull elk, but once the work was done, I was ready to start chasing some of the big rut and mule deer on the ranch. And it didn't take me long. We spotted this 7x7 mule deer buck bedded with the doe on our ride out of elk country. This is a nice buck. He's heavy. He's got deep forks, big brow tines. But he's narrow.
I'm gonna look at him for a minute. He also looks young.
It was easy for me to pass up so many young bucks because 2 years previous, I had taken a really big buck out here and I was determined to hold out for something better. I had no idea what the next morning would bring.
We just spotted a pounder of a buck. I mean, this is a monster, typical. He's chasing does up the hill. We got a long hike. We got to get it out in front of him and intercept him because he's dogging these does up into a big old patch of scrub oaks and whatnot. We got to climb. We got to go.
A Colt and I have hunted elk together for the last 3 years, and we were eager to chase some mule deer. This buck was chasing a doe up the mountain, and normally a buck chasing a doe is dead meat. But she led him straight into a snowstorm and higher elevations that presented me with some serious challenges.
Snowing so hard I can't keep my lenses clean. We can't see. This buck is running a doe, but he's taking us on about a 2-mile circle right back to where we started. God help us, it stopped snowing for an hour. We find that buck, we're gonna kill him.
Steve and Colt spent the next few days looking all over the winter range for this buck. And in total, Steve passed on over 125 different deer holding out for the big one.
Because the rest of my life never seen another good one like that.
This segment of Steve's Outdoor Adventures is brought to you by the new Bresser 360 trail camera. Steve's Outdoor Adventures is sponsored by Burris Optics and the Eliminator Laser Scope, Stormcloth 2 Performance Outerwear, Corbon DPX Ammunition, Kershaw Knives, the new Bresser 360 trail camera, Steiner Binoculars, Outdoor Trail Freeze-Dried Foods, Montana Decoy Company, CVA Muzzle Loaders, and UDAP Bear Pepper Spray.
If you'd like to book this hunt for yourself, give my office a call. The toll-free number and website address are listed at the bottom of the screen, and I'm always available to take your calls and answer your questions and personally help you book the hunting or fishing trip of a lifetime.
Steve is hunting with his favorite CVA Acura V2 muzzleloader, topped with the Burris Eliminator laser scope, shooting 250 grain power belt Aerolite bullets, pushed with 150 grains of powder. He's wearing the Stormcloth 2 outerwear and using the new Steiner Predator Extreme 8x42 binoculars.
I hunted hard for 5 days, and my hunt had actually ended, and I was supposed to leave home and go help my dad who was getting out of the hospital. But after talking to the guides and calling my wife, they all told me, stay on for one more short morning hunt and try to make something happen. Now let's face it, I had passed on something like 125 bucks during the course of my hunt. And I was very content to go home without a deer. It'd been a great hunt. But my wife sealed the deal when she told me to stay, and the next morning, well, let's just say staying was the best decision that I've made in years.
It's going up. Yeah, we got a deer. Yeah, let's just go around, see if we can get closer look at it.
Drive around and come up on that ridge. Here's the deal. We're gonna go ahead and get in the truck. We're gonna drive back up on top, circle the ridge all the way around, get a better look at this buck, because he looks pretty promising. Cruising over the top back here, and we spotted a buck crossing the road. There's an old track that goes up the ridge here. He just bailed off in this next drainage. Colt, you see him?
Yeah, I can see it, just his horns.
He's in some sagebrush. Yes! Right there! Woo!
Good bug, man.
Woo! Yes! Oh, yeah.
Man, I didn't even shoot him. That makes me happy.
That's a great deer.
Yeah, put my hands on it. Look at that. Right there. Oh, that's the second cheater buck I've shot here. This has been a wonderful week here in Colorado. My primary reason for coming out here was to bring Brendan Fusen the Stormcloth Sweepstakes winner on his elk hunt. And first morning out, we must have seen 400 or 500 elk, and he shot a great bull. You know, then it was my turn. I had a mule deer tag. You know, right off the bat the next morning, we spotted the buck of 10 lifetimes. Colt and I made a phenomenal hunt on him. Probably would have had him with the rifle, but I was dedicated to hunting with my CVA muzzleloader this week. Just didn't come together. I mean, and we were oh so close. Mother Nature just worked against us all morning. Spent the next couple of days looking for that buck. Never did find him again. Hunt ended last night. I was done. I was ready to go home. My dad's in the hospital. I'm ready to get back home. The guide said, no, you know, it's bad weather out. You shouldn't drive tonight. Let's give it one more go in the morning. Colt was ready. I mean, I got in there this morning. I said, how do you feel about this hunt this morning? He said, I feel better about it than I have before. Started off looking at more little bucks. I mean, I've looked at 120, 130 bucks on this trip. An amazing number of deer. Passed up a lot of bucks, looking for that one special buck. And here on the last morning, in the final hour of my hunt, I don't even have to say anything else, right there.
This is always one of my favorite hunts to do every year. Whether I'm hunting elk or mule deer, this place is just loaded with game, and my clients are always happy when they come here for a fall adventure. In fact, if you'd like to book an elk or mule deer hunt here for yourself, contact me and I will personally book your hunt for the best dates available during the coming season. Now, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this week's show. But please remember to join us again next week for another exciting episode of Steve's Outdoor Adventures.
Brandon had taken his first bull elk, and Steve took a trophy mule deer with his muzzleloader. It was a fantastic week to end the long hunting season on, and one neither hunter will forget.
Oh, man.
There probably won't be any hiding this one from the wife.